Hello and welcome. You are watching Cricbuzz Live. It's the third and final T20 in these three T20s that are being played. I think I said that twice. We're stalling today, man. That's what we're doing. You'll see more of that as the show goes on. Let's be honest. Let's be friends here. England and India, third T20 international. This is happening at Trent Bridge today. India's already won the series 2-0, but I don't think that matters. I don't think that matters to the teams. I don't think that matters to the fans because India wants to make it 3-0 and England will be fighting really hard to win the one game and to correct a lot of the flaws that have kind of shown up in the first two games. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Michael Vaughan and Zaheer Khan. And Michael will give us a bit of a weather update, even though he's not exactly in Trent Bridge, but he could be. So just lie to us. It's fine.
It's boiling hot. I know that might sound a little
English
bit
surprising.
It's the UK.
English boiling hot, right? 30 or something.
It's boiling hot.
So what is that? 30, 31?
It might be
32?
too hot. It might be too hot. They might call it off because it's too hot.
If they're calling it off, they better call it off right now because I don't want to talk about a dead rubber for 30 minutes and then them saying we're not playing. All right? That's not cool. We're still getting paid, right? We're getting paid. Let's keep going. Let's talk cricket, of course. We got Zaheer Khan here. Zach, tell me, do the Indians feel any heat when you go to England after having played, the likes of the IPL in the months of April here, hot weather tournaments in Delhi with 45 degrees? When the English complain about 31 degrees, do you go, kids?
It's the perspective, GK, how you look at things. I think from their standards, yes, it's hot. From our standards, it's like pretty pleasant. 30, 31, we say, oh, it's a nice, good day. The same thing used to happen to me when I was playing county, and there was a lot of talk around, oh, it's a flat pitch. I was like, and I used to laugh, and they used to say, why are you laughing? So I was like, this is heaven for me. It doesn't matter. It can't. It'll still do a bit. It'll still be a hell for fast bowlers because we are used to seeing these pitches where there's hardly any grass. So when you see any England pitch, you'll always see that, oh, there's life in that pitch. Same story.
Flat. Yeah. Just like, for example, when it gets a little nippy and the English are saying, oh, it's a lovely summer's day, Indians are kitted out in like a sweater and a half, right? Got two jumpers on. It happens. It's all about perspective. But tell us a bit about this ground, Michael, about Trent Bridge and what to expect. I know you mentioned yesterday that this is a flat wicket, not just by English standards, but by any standard, and it's going to be quite a run feast.
Yeah, it generally is. I mean, England have hit near on. They have got beyond 400 in 50 over cricket on this venue. It's always a high-scoring ground. It was obviously the start of the Bazball era with Johnny Bairstow chasing down that 299 against New Zealand in 50 overs. So the outfield's rapid. The boundaries won't be that big. You've got to be, unless it's a real old crusty wicket, which I can't imagine it is. It'll be a good pitch. And you've got to think 200 will be the kind of score. I'm believing that England may have won the toss and changed their theory.
That's right. They have. What do you know? Surprise, surprise. England has won the toss and decided after looking at empirical evidence of the previous two games that, hey, maybe there is something to this whole batting first fuss. And they're doing it. So we'll try one of those today. Are you happy about that, Michael?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it is hot. The pitch will be dry. We saw that at Edgbaston yesterday where the pitch got slower and slower. So, yeah, why not make best use of the pitch, get a score on the board and try and do it the alternative way. No surprise that England haven't played the spinner Parkinson. Spin generally doesn't come into the game at Trent Bridge that often with those small boundary sizes. And, England generally go there and kind of take a spinner out of the attack. So no surprise that they've gone without Parkinson. So I expect a better performance from England. They haven't really arrived in this series and played to any kind of standard. I expect them to play a bit better today.
Yeah, well, they've got Phil Salt in. We were discussing that yesterday, so they've made that change. They've got Phil Salt in there. Who they got him in place of? Sam Curran. So bolstering their batting, no surprise. And Reece Topley, who played the first game, then didn't play the second, but I guess they've done a horses for courses here, sort of quick coming in for a spinner. So those are the two changes that they have made. And now I shall play a game. Guess the Indian changes. All right, everybody, get your guesses in. How many? 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12? Come on.
The lucky number. GK, ask the lucky number. What's your lucky number?
Yesterday was 4. I'm going to go with the same. I'm going to go the golfer number 4. 4. Okay. Michael saying 4. Zach, you saying 4 as well. We're all saying 4. And the correct answer is ding, 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 ding. 4. That's right. 4 changes you got. We discussed this yesterday as well. Guys on the bench will get a chance in, and all of them are actually. So Ravi Bishnoi gets a turn. Avesh Khan, Umran Malik, and Shreyas Iyer all get a go in the game today. And India having won the series, it's not like they're tired. It's not like Bumrah would be tired after bowling, his quota. Chahal would be tired after playing 2 games. But I guess they're just showing that the ones who are kind of sure shots will just kind of sit out. So Hardik Pandya is sitting out, as is Bhuvi. Had a brilliant 2 games. So Bhuvi sits out. Yuzi Chahal and Bumrah, as I mentioned. So, Zach, your thoughts on these changes?
Well, so the changes you do when you are in a comfortable situation, which is the series is in the bag, so you want to try out the new players. I still felt that Bhuvneshwar Kumar could have continued because he's in good form, and he's someone like I was mentioning earlier as well, has not been consistent because of his injury issues. He's not been playing matches consistently. So the game time for him would have been a great help looking at the big one down the road. So match fitness, you continue with that, you get the confidence, and you stay on top of your game. So that's something which I was hoping for, has not happened, but it's just an opportunity for the management also to try out new players. You're still not seeing Huda. You're seeing Shreyas Iyer, so that shows that they want to see what Shreyas Iyer has got in store for the team, and that's the thought process. Hardik expectedly so. You want to make sure that the workload is managed nicely. Back-to-back games, there was no break in between. So that is something which one has to take into consideration when you're in a comfortable situation. You don't want to unnecessarily overburden him with the recovery, not giving enough time for recovery. So that is something which looks like a thought process. Let's see how these young guns take the opportunity right now.
Yeah, England won't mind, Michael, not seeing Bhuvi there, because he's really killed them in the power play in the previous 2 games, suffocated them.
Yeah, I reckon Butler and Jason Roy might be somersaulting the way out to bat today with the fact that they don't have to face a swinging ball from Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who's been outstanding. Look at that record on the screen: 4 wickets, 6 overs, 25 runs, economy of 4.16. He's just a great tone setter. I am surprised. I'm surprised they've gone with so many changes. I just know from a playing perspective, you want to play. You want to be playing, particularly when you're in form. Bubby's in form and Hardik's in form. If he's got an issue with his body, that's a different conversation. But if his body's fine to play again today, I would never mix with form. When someone's in that run of really good form, you just want to play every single day. So I am surprised India have made so many changes, but I guess it gives an opportunity for these younger players. I'm looking forward to Umran Malik. He's a good bowler. He bowled with great pace in the IPL. Looking forward to that. But I am surprised. I don't like all this tinkering in the modern game. I'd simplify. If you're in good form as a player, you want to play every single day that you possibly can.
Is it almost like, Michael, then is it almost like, when you have trials, the middle school trials, right? When players good, you're like, all right, you can go sit on the bench because we've seen enough for you. You're good. All right. Let the others still have a run around. You can say that about Hardik. You can obviously say that about Bumrah. You say that about Chahal. And perhaps now the team management is even looking at Bhuvi saying, that's good, buddy. You've done enough. Like we discussed yesterday, he's probably going to be on that plane to Australia. And we're all looking at that because that's the big one. Maybe it's a case of that. But still, you want to play.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. No question. I think those 4 have got their ticket, understandably, for the World Cup. But, they're on this great winning streak, India. And I guess they win today and they've made all the changes. It just continues, and it's even more strength because you've chopped and changed and you win another game. But I'm a big believer in sport is don't muck around with form. When you've got players in really good form, it's only T20 cricket. It doesn't take too much out of you. Just keep them on that kind of conveyor belt of good feelings, good form, swap and change others. But, those that are playing really well, I'd just keep them in the team.
Just, Zach, your advice to young Umran Malik, because he obviously set the scene ablaze, those 157-kilometer deliveries captured everybody's imagination. International cricket, especially playing in England against players of the caliber of Joss Butler, different kettle of fish, because, you can't just bowl raw pace at them, because in some cases they really like it. What was that old saying? Harder it comes, the quicker it comes, the quicker it goes sometimes. So what would be your advice to young Umran? So, because we've seen him in, maybe in some cases, the really, really good international bats don't really mind the pace and can kind of use it to their advantage if it doesn't move much.
Yes, at international level, you've seen that, but you got to stick to your strengths. You got to stick to whatever has worked for you, whatever has got you here. And for Umran, the striking pace which he bowls at has been his X factor. Everyone took notice of him because he was running in hard and he was bowling quick, and he was hurrying any batter he was bowling to. So that is something which he has to stick with. All I would say is just look at those 3 stumps, run in as hard as possible, and bowl as quick as possible. Keep it
nice. Simple. That's a solid piece of advice. But I think while we may be chuckling at that, but it's really good advice, because when you keep it at the stumps, that's your chance, right? Don't try to go try almost to do the test kind of top of off stump, or just go smack center, because you miss, I hit. Is that what it is, Michael?
Well, that's the simplicity of the game. I do think in T20 cricket, you've got to be watching the batter as well. I think sometimes batters give themselves a bit of space on to the leg side or through the offside, and now and again throwing it out wide of off stump with a slow ball or a wide Yorker line. They're good balls as well, but primarily the game doesn't change. If you can bowl at 90 odd miles an hour and you can whack those 3 pegs in the ground, why not try and do that? First and foremost, go for that tactic, and then you can always maneuver your tactics around what the batter's doing. But I think it's quite a very simple piece of advice. There's not many people listen to that kind of advice these days. Try and bring in all the dismissals. LBW bowled, the batsman can make an error. It's a good piece of advice.
Not too many giving the simple advice as well. So that's good. That's good from Zach. That's why he's one of the best that we have. Michael, a question for you as the captain, though. In your days, did you ever see a prodigious talent and that happens when a prodigious talent comes and does something extra special? While there are many applauding, there are also many who want him to be a lot more and perhaps be everything, and then want to, tinker and tamper a little bit. Have you ever had one of those in your charge where you had to go just, listen, youngster, just shut the noise out and do what you're doing?
I think most players, I can remember, Kevin Peterson, when he first came onto the scene, I just wanted Kevin to attack. Simple as that. And there was plenty of noise when he got out a few times in the 90s trying to hit big sixes, caught on the edge. And, people were saying, why are you doing that? And I was like, good on him. Why not? Go and be a bit more aggressive if you could possibly do that. Freddie Flintoff the same. I think when you've got naturally talented, aggressive players, the last thing I think that they want to hear is to try and tell them to play safe. Go and try and just back time or just read this, just play their way. That's what I would say to and a lot of the players, that I've just mentioned, Freddie and Kevin Peterson, the majority of players these days are like those two. They do play aggressively. They do play with the risk. They need to have this fearless kind of management style around them. At times you'd say to them, come on, just try and play smart if we can. If we're winning the game convincingly, play smart, make sure we get over the line. But I reckon 90% of the time, you want those kind of players to completely commit. I'll keep going back to Virat Kohli. Virat, to me, is in that kind of school now that he almost has to think about when he was 18 to 20, when he first came on the scene. What did he do? What was his mind like? It was just completely fresh. It was completely clear. He didn't have the baggage. He didn't have failures. He didn't have all the fame. He didn't have all the fortune. He just whacked the ball and hit it hard. And it's somehow trying to get Virat Kohli back to being 18 again without all the external noise that happens.
Yeah, good point. You should have given Kevin Peterson some advice about the hair color, though. I think you should have.
Definitely. Blue. He rocks up one week with blue hair, the week after with white hair, the week after with red.
Electric blue.
When you've got the game to be able to match it, you can have any colour. It's just nice to
Come
have
on,
hair, isn't it? So.
Oh yeah, be a peacock. It's fine. But Zach, great point that Michael's made about Virat, because you've seen that. You were right there. You were kind of one of his older brothers almost when you saw that transition happening, right? Because there was this transition from kind of almost reckless brat like that he was to this really mature kind of. You saw that happen, didn't you?
So I think when you're talking about Umran right now, and you asked me what advice you would give him, at the stage which Umran is in at the moment in his career, he doesn't have to think about all those things. So that's the beauty of it, right? So when you're making a start at your international career, you are allowed to be free. You're allowed to make mistakes. And then the journey starts of evolving yourself. You want to learn a few things. You want to add things to your bowling. You want to show that, okay, you can prove yourself in different conditions. And then Virat, when you're talking about his journey, it has been phenomenal. The one thing which stands out with Virat's journey is that drive and that hunger to learn, and how he has kept pushing that bar higher and higher. So in the process, when you have the long career, obviously you're going to have these different phases. And in each phase, you have to deal with differently. So I think the phase which Virat is in right now is going to actually motivate him, is going to inspire him to do better. Is how he would look at it. The Virat I know is going to enjoy this challenge, and it's about sometimes you need that push. You need that push. You want to be against the wall to come out. Come out of that zone, that pressure zone which you're talking about. And the fact of the matter is, he's been getting starts, and he's been getting out, and he's been getting out in the most bizarre ways possible as well. So there have been very few good balls which has gotten him out. So that's something which he'll have to look at every time. As a batter or as a bowler, it's the same, right? For a batter, if you get out on a good ball, you should not worry too much. For a bowler, if you bowl a good delivery and a batter has played a good shot, you should not be worrying about it. So I think for Virat, if I have to give him advice at this stage, or how to tackle this situation, I think you have to look at it as a challenge, and you have to use every possible thing, because that's how he has been. He's a sort of personality who thrives on confrontation on the field, confrontations off the field, and that has really driven him. That has motivated him to do well. So he has to look at the same in the same light, in the same manner, and then come out of it. So this break, whatever short little break he will be getting, I think it just needs to realign his thought process and be free in his approach.
Yeah, and also kind of have a thought, himself, and figure that today being a 3 format player is physically, mentally, emotionally really hard, and choose it for himself in a way as well, right, Michael? You as a player can say, hey, listen, this is getting tougher and tougher, because you're playing a game every 2 days, traveling across the world. In 3 days, you play a game, no acclimatization. Things like that are happening and will happen more and more.
Yeah, and the modern player just, I believe, getting asked to do too much. To play all the different formats, to continuously be away from home, to continuously live out of a hotel. But that's, I guess, the decision you make when you sign up to be a cricketer, that you're pretty much leaving your house for quite a few years. That's why those players and I keep saying that those players like Virat that have played so long and still got so long to go, having a little sabbatical for 2 or 3 months, just complete break from the game, I'm convinced it'd help them play for maybe another couple of years at the end. And I don't think anybody in the game would look at any of those players, Steve Smith, Joe Root, Kane Williams, all these players that pretty much play everything, Warners. If they understood their hand and said, look, I'm completely taking 2 months out of the game. I'm just going to have 2 months at home doing normal things, being around the family. Yes, I'll stay fit. Might hit a few balls in a few weeks' time, but I'll be available again in 2 months' time for selection. I'm convinced it's the way to go in this era of the game, because they play far too much. Their mind and their bodies can only do so much. I talk about the egg timer. The egg timer when you're boiling an egg. Yeah. If you don't keep turning that egg timer over, it kind of goes and it flattens, and then you're knackered. It's gone. Your energy's gone. Your mentality will be gone until you keep turning it over and keep rejigging your energy levels and your mental kind of state. And the only way you can do that is rest and breaks. And, I'll say all players in this area, Joe Root suddenly in the end of the summer goes, you know what, I want 2 or 3 months away from the game. I go, good on you. No problem. That's probably the way to go, to get another year or 2 out of your career at the end of it.
Maybe. We've been saying it for quite a while on Cricbuzz Live as well. Maybe that happens, but the same old temptation. How do you get off that treadmill? How do you say, I'm going to take a break? Because you love it. You do it every day because you love it. And I guess you do get tempted when you see all your buddies running out to play. You're like, why not me? It's mind over body, isn't it? Well, you got to figure that out for yourself. I'll tell you one thing, though. When I saw the change in Virat, it's a small incident, but because it's Sunil Gavaskar's birthday today, happy birthday, legend. And because it involves him, I'll tell you, saw him on the side of the field once, and Sunny Bhai called him to say hi. He was walking around chewing gum, and as soon as he saw Mr. Gavaskar calling him, he took his gum out, hid it in his hand, and just walked up to him because he felt it would be disrespectful to be chewing gum in front of a legend. And that's when I looked at him and I said, I think people mistake the aggression they see on the field with the actual guy, with the human being. And I don't think you should do that. So I think this is a lesson for fans as well. It's fine when somebody's running and jumping on the field and giving a little bit of chirp to the opposition. Doesn't mean that they are those kind of people. They can be very gentle people off field as well. We have 2 people here, hard competitors, gentle souls. All right, let's talk about the really gentle performance that the England top order has been giving us. Yeah, hard as nails, but been kind of fragile of late, Zach. What's going on with this top order?
Yeah, they need to figure things out. I think Bhuvi not playing today is definitely going to be a sigh of relief in that England camp for sure at the moment, because the way he's been bowling and taking those early breakthroughs was not easy. But I'm a big believer, and that's how the game goes. I feel, be it with the ball or bat, you got to set the tone right. If you set that platform right, right from the word go, that really eases off pressure. So for the top order batters to give a good start, eases off the pressure on the middle order. The bowlers are on defensive, and that you can really take advantage of. So England has been failing to do that, and that has been, I think, one of the main concerns as far as batting is concerned. So till the time they don't get that start, you will not see the kind of result which you want to see from the England batting lineup.
Michael, we saw Joss Butler, the Joss Butler business model from the IPL, which was take 2-3 overs and just kind of work it around a bit and then launch. You catch up. You still get your 55, 60 run power play, but it doesn't mean that you have to get 10 every over. You can get 5 in the first 3 and 15 in the next 3.
Yeah, I mean, the IPL, he was in such good form. And I think he's tried to do that in this series. I mean, he got a beauty from Bhubaneswar in the first game. In the second game, good tactics, a little bit of swing away. He's probably trying to cover that in-swinger, and the one went away in the second game. No, Bhubaneswar today should help him. I think he'll come out swinging. I think he'll try and kind of get back on the horse by being ultra-aggressive. My advice to him would be, and I shouldn't be advising probably the best white ball player at the moment in the world, but just try and remember how he did it in the IPL, which was to give himself 2 or 3 overs to get used to conditions, and then he's got such a good game to catch up and then really exploit any matchup that comes his way. And he can pretty much strike every bowler now. He used to have an issue against spin. He used to have a little bit of a problem against spin. There's no issue at all anymore. And I guess the one problem that anybody has early is the ball that swings around, and that's what Bhubaneswar's managed to do to this England opening partnership. And you talk Butler, but I think Jason Roy. Jason Roy is really the one that just needs to start firing a little bit. You've got Stokes, you've got Bairstow to come back into this team. And, places are hot. You're looking at the Indian team, you're looking at the England team. There are a lot of players that are out of the sides that you go, they should be in the team or could quite easily get in the side. So I think Jason Roy needs to start scoring some runs quite quickly.
Yeah, today's his chance, because otherwise he may just be at the end of the rope there. I think England today doing what India did yesterday. They've got the one extra batter, haven't they, today? So they've got that, and that means, well, yesterday it worked for India because Ravindra Jadeja, the batting bolstering that they did worked for them with him getting 46. But today they've done that, so a little more confidence there perhaps. You've got an Ask Cricbuzz live question. Let's have a look at that. Pull that up on the screen. What we got today? In the current T20 era, batters are proactive about finding boundaries even after the power play. How do you counter this batting approach from a fielding captain's POV, especially when a batter is having a good day? What do you pray? What do you do? So it's a very innocuous question, but I don't think there's any answer to it.
It's a long question.
Well, that's the way the game goes. You got to stay on top. You got to try and stay proactive. You got to be able to figure out what options batters are looking to take and try and prevent that. I mean, that's the way game goes. That's why the value of good captain is very high in T20 format. And good bowlers. So I think it's all to do with how quickly you're analyzing. You don't have to wait till you go back after the game, sit with your video analyst, sit with your bowling coach and figure things out. If you're able to do that in the game time, you can stay on top.
Yeah.
I mean, T20 cricket is such a tactical game now and all the matchups. And as a captain, I think most captains go out there now and they kind of know who they want to bowl to which players. But the best captains still react to the situation and try and convince, their team around them they're doing things slightly differently. I mean, you go back a year or so when Owen Morgan used to have Nathan Lehman on the balcony with numbers.
We still haven't figured what that was about.
That was coding to basically give Owen an opportunity to understand exactly which bowlers were the best bowler next over to bowl to the batters that are out there. I didn't like that. I didn't think Owen Morgan needed that. He's such a good captain and he knows pretty much in his head what is required. But there's all sorts of new tricks coming into the game. I remember years and years ago, Bob Woolmer, the late really
earpiece.
Earpieces in. Will we go back to that? I hope not. I like captains that go out there with information of the stats and the data, but actually just react to the situation and the pitch and what a batter's doing, because you can't tell me that what's happened a week ago can affect now. It can't. It can help in a way, and you give yourself a little bit of an idea, but it's all about the here and now. It's all about reading this pitch today. It's all about working out which boundary sizes you've got to try and protect, where you bowl to certain batters at which ends, and what deliveries are the hardest balls to hit. You've got to work that out quickly as a bowling unit, as a team. And as a batter, you've got to work out very quickly when you're out there, what are the shots that are on this pitch, on this day, not what happened last week, not what happened yesterday, what's happening in the here and now. And I still think the best players do that.
I think the only thing that England wanted to learn from yesterday is that win the toss and bat first, and they have done that. So that's a good thing. But otherwise, just play with your instinct today and see where you go. Instinctively, gentlemen, what do you think with your score guesses? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Till then, I've got the joy factor question. Let's pull that up. Let's see what Joy has done today. Is it a doozy? Is it a dozy? If Craig McDermott was the first, Stephen Fleming the 100th, Dominic Cock the 200th, and Sean Pollock the 300, which Cricbuzz live panelist was the last? Well, at least he's brought it down to like 15 people. So that's good. I wish he had said English or Hindi, because that would have really helped as well.
Joyda loves his lists.
Yeah,
he loves the list.
It's Stephen Fleming that's confused me there.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Catches?
Maybe.
No, can't be catches.
No. Don't know.
No.
Craig McDermott, bowler.
Something to do, because the thing I remember most about Craig McDermott was the zinc cream that he used to put. Is something to do with that? Maybe?
You can ask the answer.
300 person to wear the zinc cream was Sean Pollock.
He did used to wear zinc.
Maybe onto something there? I don't know. Well, send in your answer. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live. I think it's already lit up. Yeah? Have we got the right answer? Well, we could have. Let's see if we can get the right answer with our score guesses. Trent Bridge, England batting first. What's it going to be? I think Zach's jumping already. He has it.
I had a feeling that this series is going to be high scoring. The England so far has not joined the party. Maybe today is the day. So we'll stick with our instinct of the series and go 190.
190, great. Michael, you?
204.
204, even higher. All right, then I'll take the 180s then. I'll go with 183, same as yesterday. 183, 190, 204. All right. That's where we are. All right. And you know where we will be at the end of the 10th over? We'll be here with Combox. You were watching Cricbuzz Live with Michael Vaughan, Zaheer Khan, and Gaurav Kapur. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.